Your mindset has been programmed by society in a very specific way. Now, this social programming will help you become a great employee or a good citizen, but it will ruin your ability to become a successful trader. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact steps you need to take to start to reprogram your mindset to ensure that you can become a consistently profitable trader. The truth is, most traders are just going to focus on refining their current strategy, thinking that's the way they're going to get consistent profits. But for most traders, it's their social programming. It's the way that their mindset is programmed that's actually stopping them from having consistent profitability. You just need to follow exactly what I'm going to share with you in this video. Because what I'm going to share with you in this video is the exact mindsets that I teach my 6 and 7 figure students. Now, the first idea you have to understand as a trader, and the first belief system that you have to start to redefine and reshape, is this idea of inputs and outputs. For example, when you work a paid job, a salaried job, you're getting paid directly for the amount of hours of work you put in. You're going to get a yearly salary, and that yearly salary will be determined based on an hourly rate. That's how society typically works. That's how employment typically works. But the market doesn't operate like that. The market doesn't think in terms of an hourly salary. The market doesn't care how much work you put in. It's not going to pay you unless you're on the right side of the market for that individual trade. It doesn't matter how much time you put into back testing. It doesn't matter how much time you put into studying and learning. The market doesn't care about that. The market doesn't fairly pay for the amount of work you put in. And that's not a judgment on the market, but it's rather we have to reset our expectations and we have to reshape this idea of inputs and outputs. So as a trader, initially in the journey, this is probably going to work to your disadvantage because it's a double-edged sword. Initially, you're going to put a lot of time, energy, and effort into the markets, and you're not going to see the return on investment. You're not going to see the financial reward just yet. But if you focus on becoming the asset, if you focus on becoming a consistently profitable trader, I've seen a trader, for example, make $100,000 in one trade that took 3 to 4 hours. So as you become the asset as a trader and you master your entries and you master your strategy and you start to scale up with funding, then you start to use this idea of asymmetric inputs and outputs, or disconnected inputs and outputs, to your advantage. Because now you can put a very short period of time in, maybe 15 minutes of forecasting in the morning, 5 minutes to execute on a position, and then 3 hours later, with enough size, with enough capital, you could very easily make $100,000 on an individual position. So this thought process we get trained into in society, where we have to get paid per hour, we have to get paid for the amount of work we put in, we have to completely remove that idea from our mind when we come to the markets. Recognize that inputs are disconnected from the outputs as a trader. Now, initially, this may not work to your advantage, but later on in the journey, a few years into the journey, when you master your entries, once you have enough size with your position sizing, then you're going to start to reap the rewards of this disconnected input and output. And what you have to really do, especially early on in your journey, is focus on breaking this employment mentality. Focus on breaking this entitlement that you should be paid for the amount of work you put in, because that's not how the market operates. And we have to reset our expectations. We have to reshape our beliefs around this. And we want to focus on the long game, because it's through compound interest of showing up every single day, and you maybe not getting paid every single day, but showing up and showing up and showing up. And then eventually you have that big day or that big month that pays for a lot of the work you've put in prior and pays for a lot of that hard work you've put in. But recognize initially in the markets, your inputs are going to be very, very far disconnected from the outputs. But recognize that you can start to use this to your advantage if you focus on becoming the asset and focus on becoming a consistently profitable trader and then scaling up with funding. Now, the next mindset that I pass on to my 6-figure traders and really want them to understand is this idea of process versus outcome. You have to focus on what you have control over. There are so many traders that are thinking that they have control over the market's next move, and they're putting a lot of energy and effort into trying to predict what the market's going to do next. And that's not what the best traders are doing. What the best traders are doing is they're predefining an edge. They know exactly what their edge looks like. They're putting that into a mechanical trading plan. And then when they're trading in the future, they're focused on what they have control over, which is showing up and sticking to that edge, sticking to that trading plan. They don't try and control the uncontrollable. They don't try and predict what's going to happen next in the markets because they know that only leads to stress, anger, frustration, all the negative emotions. They focus on setting realistic expectations and recognizing that all they have to do is control what they have full control over, which is showing up and executing on their process, on their trading plan. You have zero control over the individual outcome. And the best traders learn to detach from the individual outcome. You want to focus on developing an edge into a mechanical trading plan and then focus on adhering to that edge, the process. And this is when you start to shift from outcome-based thinking to process-based thinking. This is where you start to build consistent profitability because you're focused on what you have full control over and you're focused on adhering to your edge. Now, if you want the exact tool that I give to my six-figure traders to help them embody this mindset and help them overcome outcome-based thinking, help them stick to their trading plan and achieve consistent profitability, it's going to be the first link in the description. Go in and download that. Start using that before every single trade you take. The tool's completely free and I guarantee you it's going to make a difference in your trading. And the third mindset that I pass on to my six-figure traders is you have to start to learn to redefine winning and losing. And we get programmed throughout our life to see winning as good because throughout life, when you won in sport or when you won in school or in university or in your job, you got rewarded, you got celebrated, and you learned to associate pleasure and dopamine and support and positive to winning. And you become attached or even addicted to winning, and you crave the feeling of being a winner. And so too, in society and throughout your life, you get programmed into thinking losing's bad and losing's negative and it should be punished and it should be reprimanded and it's bad and it's negative, and you have all these pain substances associated to losing. And in your mind, you become trying to avoid losing and trying to seek after winning. But you have to understand, as a trader, you have to learn to redefine that. Because as a trader, you're trading a probability model. And in a probability sequence, you have both winning and losing. So by definition, to be a successful, consistently profitable trader, you have to lose as well. You have to be able to stomach both winning and losing in order to stick to your edge and stick to that probability model. So as a trader, you can't have this idea of winning is good, losing is bad, because if you do, you're going to be greedy over winning and you're not going to stick to your trading plan. And you're going to be fearful over losing and you're not going to stick to your trading plan. Both judgments on winning and losing are going to take you away from sticking to your trading plan, adhering to your edge, and building consistent profitability. But the traders that learn to redefine winning and losing, and they reshape the beliefs in their mind about what these things mean, then guess what? They don't get addicted to winning, they're not trying to avoid losing. They're more neutral on the outcome of both, and they just stick to their trading plan. They get back to their processes, and they embody process-based thinking. They embody long-term thinking. They're not caring about what the outcome or the output is on this next individual trade. So the question I want to ask to you is losing really that bad? Is winning really good? Where do these beliefs come from? Where do these ideas come from? And I guarantee if you hold yourself accountable and you really do some you dive deep, you'll find that throughout your life you've learned to associate in your own mind this idea of winning is good and losing is bad. And it's programming and it's stuff that can be addressed and stuff that needs to be addressed if you want to be a consistently profitable trader. Now, I've seen many traders who've grown most as traders and have had the greatest catalysts of growth from their biggest losing days. And when I really ask them, I say, hey, you had this terrible losing day, apparently. You called it terrible initially, but you can go in there and you can see that you actually became aware of certain things you needed to refine in your trading plan. You made refinements to your system, to your trading plan, to your psychology. That loss humbled you, so now you're more present with the market. You've made all these refinements, you've made all these additions. And when they change their perspective to that losing day and they realize that there were actually benefits and blessings in it as well, they're no longer calling it a terrible thing. They're no longer labeling that losing a terrible thing. So really losing and winning as good and bad are your own perceptions of losing and winning. And you determine what those are through your own life experiences and through the way you view losing and winning. So I can't say that losing and winning are objectively bad and good, because from what I've seen through a lot of the work I do, a lot of the performance coaching and through my own trading experiences, that losing has some benefits too. And sometimes we need to take a loss to to ground us and to wake us up and to make us more aware of some of the risks in the market and get us back to higher quality setups. And I can't really say winning is good because there have been times when I've taken wins and I felt invincible, and then I've started to force crappy ideas onto the market, and I've started to get humbled from that. So we really need to learn to redefine losing and winning in our mind and really start to reshape our beliefs around that. So redefine losing to ensure you're not run by fear. Because if you're resentful to losing and you see losing as bad, you're going to fear losing. You're going to be run by fear when you're trading. You're not going to stick to your trading plan. You can't build consistent profitability in that state. And you need to redefine winning to ensure you're not run by greed. Because if you see winning is good and you're addicted to winning, then you're going to be run by greed as a trader, and you're going to overtrade. You're going to have FOMO. You're going to have a lot of these impulsive behaviors as a trader. You're not going to stick to your trading plan. You can't have consistent profitability if you're run by greed. In order to have consistent profitability, you need to learn how to manage fear and greed by redefining winning and losing so that you can stick to your trading plan. This is exactly what I teach in the 12-week program. So if you want to go deep on the tools and address a lot of the subconsciously stored things in your head to ensure that you can actually stick to your trading plan, make sure you check out the 12-week program. Okay? So you want to learn to transcend the judgment on the individual outcome. And you want to learn to transcend the judgment on winning and losing so that you can get back to your trading plan. These are really the three mindsets that I teach my six-figure traders. You need to understand inputs versus outputs and recognize the disconnected. May not work to your advantage initially, but later in your trading journey, it will. You need to learn to get out of outcome-based thinking and go to process-based thinking, adhering to your trading plan. You need to learn to redefine winning and losing. You need to learn to redefine a lot of the beliefs that you've been programmed into through society and through your life, because they're not going to help you as a trader. And you need to learn how to become aware of those things, address them, so that you can build your mindset into one that's going to help you become the most successful trader possible. So if you found this useful, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share these videos with your trading communities and those that you know will get value from them. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.